Knicks have had a great offseason so far, making a blockbuster trade for Mikal Bridges, being able to re-sign OG Anunoby, but there are still moves to be made, and more importantly, there are still questions that Leon Rose must answer before this season starts. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. If you're ready for the season, hit that thumbs up icon for us. Question number one, Leon Rose needs to answer. Is Mitchell Robinson the answer as the starting center for the 2024-2025 season? There are multiple layers to this question, so let's peel them back. Layer number one, is he going to be available? The best way to predict the future is to look at the past. And Mitchell Robinson has played more than 59 games one time in the last 4 seasons. That tells me that it's more likely than not that he is going to miss a chunk of the season this year. And right now, the only player that you have invested in that is on the roster as we record this video on July 3rd at 6:15 Eastern Time, you only got Mitchell Robinson and you only got Jericho Sims. Also, Robinson coming off 2 major injuries in the last 7 months, in the last 7.5, 8 months. 2 stress-related ankle surgeries. That's not good. When you're 7 feet tall and you weigh 250 plus pounds, it's not good when you're a big man and you start to have stress-related injuries in the feet and in the ankles. 30 games played last year. 59 games played the year before. Hey, if you get 72 games from Robinson like you did in 2021, 2022, I think you're fine. But you can't have another season where he plays less than 50 games. You absolutely cannot, especially if Jericho Sims is the only player that you have as a backup center. I think that will change. I think the Knicks are looking to make a move there, but they haven't yet. Still a lot of offseason to go. Look, this is my thoughts on Robinson. If Mitch is healthy for the playoffs, the Knicks are fine. Like, is he the perfect center for this team? No. Is there going to be a drop-off of skill compared to when he's out there to when Isaiah Hartenstein was out there? Absolutely. But if you can promise me right now that Mitchell Robinson will be able to roll for the playoffs, I'll sign up for that, and I won't cry about it. But I do worry about him against the Boston Celtics. I don't love the idea of Mitchell Robinson chasing around Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis on the perimeter. I also don't love him against the Miami Heat. He's not a good defender on Bam Adebayo. Those bigs that more so operate outside the paint tend to give Mitchell Robinson a little bit of trouble. I also am worried about him being a negative on offense. Safe to say, sometimes you got to play 4-on-5. All he can contribute is out of the dunker spot and creating more offensive possessions for you via rebounding the ball. But overall, if he's healthy, I think you're fine. Although I think the offensive skill comes down, maybe the offensive rebounding goes up. There's definitely a trade-off there. What is your confidence level in Mitchell Robinson as the starting center? Knicks offense will have to change. They use Hartenstein as a playmaking hub at the top of the key, backdoor cuts, dribble handoffs. That's not Robinson's game. He stretched the floor by being able to be a facilitator. Robinson cannot do that. Robinson makes Julius Randle less efficient. I worry about that. Your confidence in him. Scale 1 to 10, 1 being you're not confident, 10 you got all the confidence in the world. Burning question number 2 that Leon Rose must answer. What is Deuce McBride's role for the 2024-2025 season? I love Deuce McBride. People think I just want to trade him because I don't like him. Why would I not like a player that can guard almost every point guard in this league and can knock down the 3 ball at 40%? I love that. This is the problem, though. With Dante DiVincenzo being moved to the bench because you traded for Mikal Bridges, how much tick, how much burn, how many minutes is Deuce McBride going to play on a night-in, night-out basis? You get 48 minutes at point guard, you get 48 minutes at the 2 guard. Brunson's going to average 35 minutes per game. Mikal Bridges is going to average 35 minutes per game. That's all right. That means there is only 28 minutes left at the point guard and shooting guard spot. Is DiVincenzo playing 20 minutes and then Deuce McBride's playing 8? DiVincenzo's got to play. He does. This guy was great in Game 7. He was playing 50-plus minutes a game in the regular season at times when they went into overtime. And it stings because Deuce is a good player. You see the growth. Knocked down 41% of his threes last year. He's gotten better and better every single season. He is a weapon on the defensive end. But the fact of the matter is, the Knicks are more tied to Dante DiVincenzo than they are Deuce McBride. They gave DiVincenzo $50 million. He's the better player. Much better offensively. Not as good defensively. But overall, there is not a single general manager, if you exclude the price point, that would take Deuce over Mitch, or a Deuce over Dante. So Dante's going to play. And this is a question he has to ask himself, him being Leon Rose. Is the insurance of Deuce, because that's what he is at this point. Second guards off the bench don't play that much. Is the insurance of Deuce behind Brunson, behind Bridges, behind DiVincenzo? Is the insurance in maybe 10 to 15 minutes per game worth not using him in a trade to upgrade the roster elsewhere? Like maybe a backup center that could be a little bit more pressing of a need. Maybe you upgrade the starting lineup via center and you move Mitch to the bench. You need to ask yourself, can we use the talent of Deuce and the value of Deuce to improve this roster at a bigger hole and a bigger position need? I'm not trading Deuce unless I can add someone to this team that makes them better. I want Deuce on this team. But sometimes you got to give to get. And if the Knicks want to get somebody pretty good, probably going to have to give up Deuce McBride. Question number 3, Leon Rose must answer. Is Julius Randle a part of the future? And I don't mean just this year. I mean the long-term future of the New York Knicks that have a core of Brunson, Bridges, OG, Hart, Dante. Is he a part of that core? You look at Julius Randle's contract. He's on the books for this year at $28.9 million. He has a player option for 2025-2026. We could live in a world where 11 months from now, Julius Randle declines his player option and he is an unrestricted free agent. And if you do not think that the New York Knicks are thinking about that and trying to decide what they need to do, you are simply just wrong. I think the Knicks offer Randle a contract extension this summer. I also think Julius Randle will decline it because the money that the Knicks are going to offer him is going to be, in Randle's mind, maybe a little disrespectful, and he's going to think he can get more on the open market, which he might. And if you offer the guy a contract extension and he does not accept it, that tells you, 1, he may be thinking about leaving, and 2, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. And what do you do in that situation? You may have to trade him to get value back so he does not leave in free agency for nothing. I'm not saying trade Randle. I'm not saying keep Randle. I'm outlining the series of events that are to come. Randle could be a free agent 11 months from now. The Knicks need to have a plan if that does happen. Randle was great this regular season. I thought it was the best regular season he had played in quite some time. When Anunoby came to the Knicks, he was playing great basketball. He was playing winning basketball. He was doing more things to help the team stack W's. But man, I still can't forget about the playoffs. I can't. I don't need to touch the stove to know it is hot. He was terrible against the Hawks for whatever reasons. Whether that's because Elfrid Payton, Reggie Bullock, the Knicks didn't have anybody, sure. He was not good against the Cavaliers. Coming off an ankle injury. Could be a reason. He was not good against the Heat. Same thing. Can you depend on Julius Randle in the playoffs? That's a question that the Knicks will be asking themselves. Does his game translate to the playoffs? They will be asking themselves that question. Overall, it comes back to this. If regular season Randle, if 3-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA Julius Randle shows up in the playoffs, the Knicks can and will win the NBA Finals. Randle is the biggest X factor on this team. If Randle plays like he has in the past in the playoffs, they're going to lose in the second round again, if not before that. But if the guy that's been in the All-Star game 3 times and an All-NBA selection 2 times, if that player shows up in the playoffs, the Knicks are going to be contending for an NBA Finals for years to come. My question to you is this before we continue on in today's program. Is this Julius Randle's last season with the Knicks? He has a player option for next season. He could decline that and be a free agent this time next year. Is this his last season with the Knicks? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Burning question number 4, Leon Rose must answer. Does this team that is currently constructed have enough to win it all? You need to ask yourself that question because when you trade 5 first-round picks and you give up a pick swap, essentially losing control of 6 first-round picks, and you move all your young pieces in Emmanuel Quickley, R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, when you traded those 4 players and you gave up the rights to 6 first-round picks, you are all in. You've pushed all your chips into the middle of the table. And you need to ask yourself, can this team win it all? You look at the roster. It looks damn good on paper with Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby and Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson and Deuce McBride and Dante DiVincenzo and Josh Hart. That's a great top 8. But I worry about the depth at the backup front court. Who's your backup 4? Is it Josh Hart? Who's your backup 5? Is it Jericho Sims? Is Tyler Kolek your point guard off the bench? Are we going to ask McBride to be the point guard off the bench? I think we've seen by now McBride is better off the ball than on the ball. I think this team, if healthy, can win a championship. But I think you need to be more than a championship contender if you only stay healthy. You probably should pencil in one player being hurt. Hopefully it's not Brunson, Bridges, or OG. So you need, in my opinion, one more player. I think if healthy, they're good enough to win it all, but I also think they could use another backup center. I think they should re-shine Precious Achiuwa. I think they should go out and add Kyle Lowry in free agency, another veteran. I think there's still moves to be made, but if healthy, if your top 8 is Brunson, Mikal, OG, Randle, Mitch, Hart, Dante, and Deuce, that top 8 should be able to win it all. But you still don't have a backup center. And I don't think you can go into the season with a Mitchell Robinson being your only investment at that big man spot. Last question that Leon Rose needs to answer before the season starts. Is Tom Thibodeau the coach of the future for the New York Knicks? A lot of people will say no, and I would say you are all wrong. Tom Thibodeau has earned a contract extension. He has done a masterful job since becoming the head coach of the New York Knicks. My question to you would be, how many coaches are for sure better than Tom Thibodeau? I'd say Eric Spoelstra. Then who else? Who for sure else is better? I'll let you tell me in the comments section. The resume speaks for itself. Tom Thibodeau came to the Knicks in 2021 after the Knicks won less than 30 games, and he got him in the playoffs. Got him in the playoffs. They were the 4th seed. Then there was a hiccup in 2022. The roster didn't improve. Randle had a setback. You finished 11th. But then since then, you've been one of the best teams in the NBA. 2023, you were 47-35. You were the 5th seed in the NBA, and you lost in the second round. The next year, you were 50-32, number 2 in the East, lost in the second round. I love the results of the team in the season, but the things I love about Tom Thibodeau the most is the development of the players that have been added. Jalen Brunson came to the New York Knicks after not being playable in the playoffs against the Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference Finals for the Dallas Mavericks, and now he's a top guard in the East, top guard in the NBA. He got better. Julius Randle didn't have a home in the NBA. Bounced around from the Lakers to the Pelicans. Nobody wanted him. Never made the All-Star team. Never was an All-NBA player. You sign him, and he's got 3 All-Star teams to his name and 2 All-NBA players. Josh Hart, if you remember, nobody wanted to give him any guaranteed money after his rookie contract went out. He went from the Lakers to the Pelicans and was traded to the Blazers, and people forgot about him. Then he became one of the best players in the Eastern Conference and was one of the best players in the playoffs this past year. Dante DiVincenzo, the Golden State Warriors didn't want him back last year. He said he can't play in the playoffs. He can't shoot. He can't do any of that. He just had his best season in the NBA, dropped over 35 points in a Game 7, and he's going to continue to get better and better. What about Deuce McBride? Second-round draft pick. People thought there's no way that Deuce will be able to get it done in the NBA. He comes to the Knicks. He gets better every single year. He is now looked at as a major part of the rotation. Push this across. How can you not love the development of Deuce? Isaiah Hartenstein comes to the Knicks, signs a 2-year, $16 million deal, and after that contract's over, he inks a 3-year, $87 million deal. The development speaks for itself. Mitchell Robinson goes from high school to not playing hoops for a year and then joined the Knicks. And now he's looked at as one of the best shot blockers and one of the best offensive rebounders in the league. Every player that has joined the Knicks has developed. Manuel quickly got better. Quentin Grimes' best time was with the Knicks. You come to the Knicks, you get paid. The development under Thibs should not be slept on. Grade Tom Thibodeau's tenure as the Knicks head coach. Get out your red pen for me. A, B, C, D, or F. Thibs. How has he done so far as the Knicks head coach? Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there, and let's go Knicks.